Today, we're talking about Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams getting one step closer to becoming dads, Ethan from H3 apologizing to his fans, and Tana Mojo begging for forgiveness. It's a mess, so let's get into it. Let's start off with Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams' journey to fatherhood. Last week, Shane and Ryland announced that they officially picked an egg donor and they were ready to move into parenthood. Shane said they recorded the whole process, not for YouTube, but for their child when they're older. He didn't really know if that would be weird for the kid to know and see, but he said they want to have it just in case their child has a sense of humor. Shane seemed to be really on the fence about whether or not they wanted to do adoption or just go through with the whole surrogacy thing. He said the whole thing was just another reminder that they can't do this themselves and that the kid will only biologically be one of them. They're even debating maybe having two kids, so one of them could be half of Ryland and the other could be half of Shane. Ryland announced on their latest episode of The Sip that they're one step closer to becoming dads. Ryland was talking about how nervous he was going into the doctor's office to do, into a cup and get the whole process moving.
But then tomorrow we're going to the fertility clinic, which means that we're preparing ourselves to give semen.
So are you actually giving semen, or are you just going there and getting emotionally prepared to do the deed in there the next time you go?
No, tomorrow is the semen sample.
Tomorrow you're jacking into a cup?
Yeah.
Are these the potential baby semens, or is this just a semen test?
So first they do the semen samples to see if we have they'll test both of ours and we'll see if we have a high sperm count. They'll see
Ryland also talked about how much work and how hard the whole process has been for them. He said it's kind of been like having two podcasts because of the workload the labs and the doctors have required.
I have to be finished by 1 because there's a million meetings in this trying to have a kid process because there's a million different people that are involved. So it's it has been chaotic and it feels honestly like a full-time job with the amount of emails and people involved and trying to schedule it.
Welcome to parenthood.
Yeah. So it feels like I've added another podcast on top of the podcast.
Yeah. And a lot of people didn't like that comment. Some people were saying, well, if you think that's a lot of work, just wait until you actually have this baby. Here's what people had to say. This already feels like another full-time job. What do you think being a parent is? Full-time job with the emails. I hope they understand that they can't return the kid when they inevitably get tired of their new accessory. Oh my god. Well, no shit. This isn't just some fun hobby. This is an entire human being. It's more than a full-time job. It's a dedication to someone for the rest of your and their life. And hopefully Ryland does understand that. Bringing a baby into the world is a huge responsibility, and his podcast with Lizzie might have to take the back burner when this baby arrives. It's a lot of work, and hopefully Shane and Ryland are ready for that. Moving on, we need to talk about Ethan's apology. As you guys know, both Ethan and Dan were caught in a ton of backlash the other day after Monday's episode of H3. They were talking about James Charles and the fact that he had diapers on his buy again list on Amazon, and they were trying to guess why he needed them. They started to say that James probably needed them because of his preferred position. A lot of people really didn't appreciate Ethan's comments, and they said guessing that about a gay man was actually a huge stereotype. People in the live chat were calling him out, and Dan got pretty mad about it. They ended up having a fan call in, and he tried to explain to Ethan why he shouldn't be saying those things. Ethan didn't understand where the caller was coming from, and then started asking the caller which he prefers. Obviously, the caller was really uncomfortable. He just finished explaining to Ethan why he shouldn't say those things, and then what does he do? Asked him the exact thing the caller said wasn't okay. Ethan and Dan got so much backlash. They lost over 10,000 subscribers, and it turned into a huge thing. People were really disappointed and expected better from Ethan. Ethan did issue an apology on Twitter, but he also went on to talk about the situation during Wednesday's episode. Ethan posted a video titled, "I got canceled again. And in the first half, Ethan and the crew addressed their cancellation. Ethan said when he talked to the caller, he really couldn't understand why he thought it was so offensive. After the episode aired and he started to see all the backlash, he went and talked to some of his close friends who were a part of the community, and he said they were able to explain to him why it was so offensive. Ethan went on to read out his Twitter apology and just kind of said, That's his apology.
You guys know I always mean well. So that's my apology. Some people accept it, some people don't. That's fine.
Ethan claimed his apology is genuine, and he actually feels bad for how he talked to the caller. He said he understands completely, but there were some things being said that he didn't agree with. Ethan started off with Dan. He said he has to stand up for Dan and called him a good man, and all the comments being said about him are insane.
A lot of people have been calling Dan a horrible homophobe, and that's just outrageous. Anyone who watches the show knows that Dan's a good man, and I'm not going to stand by and let people malign Dan like that. That's just insane. I got to stand up for my boy here. You know, so much so that poor Dan just made a Twitter. How long ago was it? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
You deleted Twitter, right?
I'm out.
Now, Dan did go on to apologize. He said he didn't articulate his words properly. He talked about how exhausting it is to go into the comments or on the subreddit and always see people saying, be better, do better, and nothing is ever good enough. A huge criticism that Dan got was a lot of people were saying at one point he mocked the caller's lisp, and Dan denied it, saying he would never do that. Ethan said every week they get canceled and told they're never woke enough, never good enough, and are constantly told they need to be better. He claimed that he's getting woke whiplash, and it's really getting intense for them, especially Dan. Ethan was saying Dan is just sick of it, and that's why he told everyone to shut up and unsubscribe. Ethan brought up a comment that he kept seeing over and over again, where people were saying the only reason he felt comfortable asking the caller such an invasive question was because the caller was gay. I'm guessing insinuating that Ethan didn't respect him because he's gay and he felt entitled to that information, even if the caller didn't feel comfortable. Ethan called that statement BS, and he said he asks everyone uncomfortable questions because they run a podcast and it's supposed to be entertaining.
I ask everybody uncomfortable questions.
And that was
always.
So far, there's been a lot of mixed reactions to Ethan's apology. A lot of people think that this is just a learning moment and don't actually think Ethan or Dan meant anything bad by what they said. And other people think the apology was complete crap. Here's what people had to say. We're caught in a cycle on the internet where we are humans who will learn, grow, and be better every day until our last breath. And also never be good enough, no matter how hard we try and evolve. Not genuine. Everyone's way too sensitive for this podcast. He gets views for saying outlandish stuff just like Trisha. I'm in the community, and this whole fiasco is seriously ridiculous. Them doubling down was literally 5 times longer than them apologizing. What's the point in apologizing if you're gonna attack those who gave you constructive criticism and double down only to defend what you said? Not a sincere apology. Obviously, a lot of mixed opinions on this topic, so let me know what you guys think. Finally, let's talk about Tana Mojo and the BFFs podcast. Last week, we talked about Dave Portnoy dragging Tana for canceling her appearance on their podcast, BFFs. Tana was scheduled to come in and be on last week's episode, and then she canceled 30 minutes before. To make the situation even worse, she used the exact same excuse that she always uses, and no one believed her. Dave was so mad. Like, he dragged Tana like she's never been dragged before. As I'm sure you guys know, Tana isn't reliable, and I can't believe people are still booking her for things like this. She's done this to multiple different podcasts just in the last month alone, and at this point, I don't get why people still give her these opportunities. On this week's episode of BFFs, Dave read out Tana's desperate text messages to him, pretty much begging for forgiveness.
Here's the exchange we had. This is Wednesday after we recorded. So you hate me, I hear. I really am very sick. I'm sorry. Praying I'm not banned from BFFs. I go, hate is a strong word. Canceling again at the last minute with the same excuses. Dog shit. She said, I'm very sorry. Was definitely joking with the hate thing. I truly am sick. Hope you know how much I'd love to go on. It wasn't an excuse, but I understand your frustration 100%. Would love to come on and get a proper in-person grilling. I'm very sorry. I go, oh, you got a proper grilling. You just weren't on. She said, ha ha, fair point. Would love to make it up to you in any way I can do. Future podcasts if you're down. Truly sorry for upsetting all of you and not being there. I'm really sick. I said, if you say so. Well, I adore you, appreciate you keeping it real. Hate to let you down, Dave. Hope you had a good rest of your day. I said, well, we'll see how you feel after the episode came out. I was not happy. It went off for about 20 minutes. Ha ha, I saw a snip. I'm not worried. I expected, so when I bailed, knew it was coming. Again, truly sick, understanding your frustration.
But both Josh and Dave said Tana actually went out the same night that she canceled on the podcast and wasn't sick at all.
She is sticking to being sick, but I swear she went out that night.
I think I saw that too. I think I saw a little video of her drinking Dizzy wine or something.
Brianna said she asked Tana to come on this week to make up for it, but once again, she just kept making excuses.
I was texting her too because I was going to see if she would pop in on this episode, and she was like, is Dave just going to scream at me the whole time? I was like, I don't think so. And she was like, he hates my guts. I was like, you know what? Whatever.
Like I said last time, it's time for people to stop taking Tana's word and realize as much as she wants to come across as this business owner, sign with a new management, running Tana's Angels agency, it's pretty much all a facade. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. What do you think about Ethan's apology? Do you think he was genuine, or do you think he's just apologizing to save face? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.